Right. I think this is live. Let me know if you guys can hear me at the moment because honestly, I'm not uh, too sure what is going on. Right, got you. Hi. Okay, okay. Can you guys hear me at the moment? Is this mic hooked up? And is it coming through? I'm using a new system, so it's like a new mic. So just to know if it's actually working or not, um, or if it's being a bit funky because it had some issues earlier. Right, we've got hey, yes, Jason Verhees says yes. Okay, right. Q&A time. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It's good to see you all. So, hello from Switzerland. Switzerland. What do you think about NATO straps? Do you wear any specific brand? I love your content. Well, firstly, thank you very much, Watches and Coffee. I really appreciate it. NATO straps. I love them. I mean, literally, this is what I've gotten today. So I've got a Hamilton khaki field with a NATO strap on. Interesting story about this is I got the Hamilton khaki field expedition and they didn't release the NATO straps until later. But what I'd done prior is I'd got the NATO strap from the old khaki field and put it on this one. So in my brain, I set the trend. I'm thinking I set the trend. Oh wow, we've got lots of people on. So guys, what are you guys wearing at the moment? Let me know what's on your wrist. At the moment, I literally just showed you guys, but I've got the Hamilton khaki field on the NATO. So David Diaz, I do not like NATO straps, only steel in summer and leather in winter. See, I was never a fan of leather as much. It kind of sits on the bone of my wrist quite weirdly, and I've never really got into leather straps. With that said, maybe I just need time to break the leather straps in. That's definitely something that I should be aware of. You need kind of time to let the leather straps sit and kind of wear it down that little bit. Okay, JJ Wilkie. Oops, just hit that mic. JJ Wilkie, what shooter would you get? Pelagos 42 titanium blue or the Black Bay 58 outside of Rolex? What is your favorite brand? Or the Black Bay 54. The Black Bay 54 is too small for me personally. I would go for a 58 or I mean, I have a Black Bay Heritage. I'd probably go for the Pelagos between those two. That's purely because the 54 is just that little bit too small for my wrists. I have 6.5-inch wrists, so hopefully that gives you kind of a steer. Both are incredible watches, but that's just my take on it. And what is my favorite brand outside Rolex? Believe it or not, I'm not. I love Rolex, and I think they're amazing, and what they do and the product they produce is incredible. But I don't really. I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of Rolex. I love them. I think they're brilliant, but I've never really got the Rolex bug, which is odd because normally that's where it starts and then it trickles down. But I'm much more interested in like Vacheron Constantin, Tudor are amazing, Omega, of course, are amazing, Breitling are incredible, Blancpain. Like there's so many other brands to focus in on, bar Rolex. And I feel like sometimes people go down the only Rolex route, and there's just so much more to discover. And with that said, Rolex are amazing. They're incredible watches. Okay, we've got so many. Well, listen, thank you guys so much for joining. We've got so many comments coming through. So Jason says, love the NATOs from Bark and Jack, currently wearing the King as always. I love it, mate. I love it. Yeah, Adrian's straps are amazing, guys. If you're going to get a NATO strap, go to Adrian. He's incredible. He's a good pal of mine, and yeah, he's such a good guy. Hopefully, I'm seeing him soon actually for a little coffee and a catch up. Who knows? Might even film a wee podcast or so. So let's see how it goes. Let's see. Wow, there's literally so many questions that are coming up. So Tom Hudson Watches said, what made you want to start YouTube and what tips do you have for people wanting to start YouTube? I'm guessing you're talking about. So I started, you'll probably see behind me the picture that I've got on the wall. So I started as a videographer and photographer. I never got into school. I never got into university, which is like the college in America. That's like, where you go after school. So I never got in because I was too stupid. And then I started working in the jewelry industry about 16 or 17. And I thought, why not implement my photography and videography into the jewelry industry? And it kind of took off from there. Honestly, there wasn't really a plan at the start. I knew that I wanted to do something with photography and videography, but there wasn't really a plan. And then And then one thing led to another, and here we are today. If you want advice, I think it would be practice makes perfect. Like, for those of you that have been around for long enough, you'll remember the first videos that I created on this channel, and they're painfully awkward, and I'm very shy on front of camera. But practice makes perfect, and eventually you just kind of feel like you're talking to someone. But be persistent with it. You know, it's not going to take 6 months to get any results. It might take 2, 3, 4 years. But if you love what you do and you're doing it for you, you'll do it forever. That's my words of wisdom. Okay, we've got lots more. Evening, everyone. Wearing my new Speedy tonight. Is that the Speedy white dial? Is that the watch that I want? Because I'm going to be very jealous if it is the watch that I want, because I want that watch so badly. I think that's my next watch. I think I've got a couple of things I want to buy for the studio, and I've got a couple of things that I want to do in terms of my prints, selling some of my prints. But once I've done that and set up my website and stuff like that, the white Speedy is calling me. It's unbelievable, and the history behind the Speedy and the mechanical nature of the movement is just unbelievable. Okay, we've got quite a lot. So I'd love to hear your opinions about the Tudor Black Bay GMT. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm actually going to Tudor Black Bay GMT. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the watches that I'm talking about prior to me actually. How do I do this? I've done this like 5 times. I don't know how it. Share screen. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Entire screen. No, Chrome tab. There we go. Okay. So which Black Bay, is it the new Black Bay 58 GMT, or is it this one here, the kind of Pepsi looking one, the blue and red? Let me know. And I can have a wee look at it and see what my thoughts are. I mean, the Black Bay 58 they released, the Coke that they released this year at Watches and Wonders, was just, it was unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really cool. And they've kind of finished the bezel in this more kind of like, it's kind of a weird texture. It's difficult to describe, but it's in a different texture to the normal models. You definitely need to see it in person. It's really, really cool. So what else do we have? What else do we have? So that's how you stop sharing. I'm figuring this out. I'm such an old man. Actually, who is your favorite watch? My favorite watch that I own, or my favorite watch in general, or my bucket watch, or my like top watch that I really want, or like, what are you thinking? That's a big question. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll get back to you with an answer on that one. Yes, the new one, right? So you were looking at the new Black Bay. So let me just share my screen here, guys. Present, share screen, share. Right, so not this one. It's the new Black Bay GMT 58. So this one. Mate, this is so sexy. I mean, literally, Tudor is giving us exactly what we want every year. They're just releasing it in small dribs and drabs. I think this is super, super sexy. I mean, I suppose oh, look, it's our website. It's Chisholm Hunter website. Lol. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, listen, I think it's super sexy. I really, really love it. I think it definitely feeds into the more vintage-esque category because of those kind of tanned numerals on the bezel. But that kind of complements it because it is more of a vintage piece. And I feel like this would last longer in terms of fashion than the Coke, or the Pepsi rather, the blue and red, just because of how kind of muted down it is. It's really nice. It's super, super sexy. So let's see. Not to brag, but to give hope. I got the call for a PP5712 last month at retail, and I'm not an influencer or that kind of spender. It's my crown and jewel. My hype watches are out there. Wait, what is this? PP5712. I recognize that. Oh, wow. Oh my God. That is, let me present, guys. I don't know why I'm not sharing my screen with you. I should just keep it shared. Look at this. Ooh, that is sexy. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Congratulations on that, mate. That is absolutely unbelievable. That is seriously unbelievable. Patek Philippe. See, the Holy Trinity are called the Holy Trinity for a reason, right? And I think if you've got a Patek Philippe, the problem now is you need to complete the triangle. You're going to need a Vacheron and you're going to need an AP. What are you thinking of going for next? Or are you, well, I suppose you're going to go through your honeymoon phase with this one, but what are you thinking of going for next? Um, CH, do you watch the UK watch community channel? No, I don't. The watch community, the watch community. Let's have a wee look. Oh, 4 hours long. Paul Thorpe, the watch community. I don't watch this channel. How come? What's the lowdown on that channel? What are you thinking? Wish I had kind of that kind of money. Mate, me too. One day, just keep pushing on, and one day we'll get there. That's what I tell myself. Okay. I would buy a VC at that price point personally. Vacheron Constantin are just unbelievable watches. Like the more that I've been learning about them, the more they're just underrated. I think that's what I like about them is they're a lot more underrated and not like when you get into a conversation with someone because of what watch you're wearing. If they like a Vacheron Constantin and they recognize that you've got one on, I feel like they're a genuine watch enthusiast. Whereas if you have a Rolex on, a lot more people know about Rolex and they just kind of it's it's not as I feel like Vacheron's just kind of elevated a little bit. I absolutely love them. Okay, no interest in AP, and I would love a Vacheron 7920. Nice, but even one watch at this level a year is too much. My income. Fair enough. It is an addiction, mate. So if you're looking for a Vacheron, let me know. I'd honestly, Vacheron Constantin, I know I say this all the time, so I'm sorry if you guys have heard this before, but the Everest edition Vacheron Constantin is a real thing of beauty. Like seriously, a real thing of beauty. That I mean, they're all sold out and you can't get them anymore. But I got a sample piece, a working sample. It was just stunning. MD Skia says, appreciate the effort and consistency of your content. Thanks for being a large contributor. Oh, thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. Yeah, listen, guys, it's not yeah, sometimes it's not as easy as like I know that when I watch YouTubers, they make it look easy, and that's why you like to watch them. You know, it's a bit like comfort. But some of this stuff is quite difficult, and yeah, I really appreciate it. All that kind of feedback and that positive feedback can really help people in a lot of ways. And honestly, when I'm having a crap day, all I need is that one nugget of someone saying, actually, I really like that video, that it spurs me on to make more. So honestly, I really appreciate it. And actually, on that note, there's a video coming on Thursday, guys, and I'd really appreciate it. This is more of a personal one to me. And I'm kind of branching out from just posting about watches. So I'm going to be posting about lots of stuff and also watches being the primary. But I'd really appreciate it if you guys could turn the bell on and let me know, or I'll let you know when that goes live on Thursday. It's a really big video and I put tons of effort into it. And if you guys follow the Chisholm Hunter Instagram, you would have seen I got my bucket shot recently, one of these photographs that I've always wanted to get. Actually, if you guys want to see that photo, just let me know in the little box down here and I can show you it now. But yeah, that's going to go live on Thursday. So if you guys could hit that little bell, I'd really appreciate it. And thank you very much, mate. Smash that like button, guys. Mate, Sam, thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the support. And it really means the world. Okay, Conrad Fielding says, yes, please. Let me try and figure this out because it's on my desktop. My desktop's a mess because my computer broke recently. And that's why the actual video edits that I've been doing have been a lot slower. Thankfully, I have help, but it's quite difficult. Right, let me have a look at how I'm actually going to do this. Share screen window. Right, can you guys see this? I'm not sure if you guys can see. Can you guys see that? So I've been waiting for 8 years to get that photo. literally, I've been going up to that location for 8 years, and I could never quite get it. And eventually, I got the clouds just perfect, and yeah, it came out really nicely. So I'm so excited, and I'll be putting that on the wall for sure. But the cloud inversion that we got was just unbelievable, and we've got time lapses of the cloud inversion, and yeah, really, really cool. Um, that's done. Well, thank you very much, Conrad, mate. I appreciate that. Let's see. What do you think about the Chopard Alpine Eagle 41 millimeters? Well, let's show everybody just so they can see. Chopard Alpine Eagle 41 millimeters. Let's have a look at this, shall we? I actually, you know what? I've got some opinions about this. Right. Can you guys see? I hope you guys can see this. So this is the Chopard Alpine Eagle, and I I actually really weirdly like it. And there's been so many controversial opinions on the bracelet. I've seen so many people hating on the bracelet. I think that looks super cool. It looks a bit like a transformer. It looks, to me, it looks awesome. It looks like a hybrid between like an AP and what else? It looks like a hybrid between something, like an AP and a something, like an AP and a Vacheron. No, that's not it. I don't really know, but I really like that. I mean, it's expensive and it's Chopard, but I'm sure the quality is unbelievable. I need to review more Chopards. They look pretty awesome. Okay, E-Jit says, I'm currently stuck between a Tudor Ranger and an Aqua Racer 200. It might seem like an easy choice, but I can't decide what my next watch is going to be. So let me know in the little comment box what you're going to use it for. Is this your first watch? Is it your fifth watch? Is it going to be an everyday wearer? Are you going to be taking this up Monroe's with you in hills? Give me a little bit of the personality, because I think that the Tudor Ranger to me is more of a field watch, right? It's like a very expensive version of this and a much higher quality version of this. So I would say the Tudor Ranger definitely suits the outdoors and the more adventurer aesthetic, but the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer slots more into the dressy category for me, especially when it's on the bracelet. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking. Well done, you, Harrison, for defending the 10,000 for charging one today inspired engineer automatic 40 when others say way too dear and forgetting the whole history. Yeah, well, Frank, I think that's a great point, and I understand where the watch community are coming from when it comes to the price of the engineer. But they need to understand that there's been a legendary designer who has died. He's unfortunately passed away, and he's never going to design again. You know, if you have a famous artist that does the most beautiful paintings. Let's talk about Banksy, because he's hugely famous. Banksy is doing this beautiful art. And let's say, unfortunately, Banksy passes away. Because he'll never produce art again, the value of his work goes up. And that's the way of the world. Now, I understand where the community are coming from. And I understand that they, they feel very strongly about that. But in my opinion, I think that if an artist has passed away, just like we see across all other industries, whether it's architecture, art, photography, videography, whatever it is, their work becomes more valuable because it's more finite. So yeah, that's my opinions about it. I did get a lot of kickback for that video, but that was my honest thoughts. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. A lot of people were not happy with me on that one, I have to say. Are you a deployant or pin buckle for straps kind of chap? I'm a pin, so I've got a pin buckle on this NATO strap at the moment. I think I'm well, it depends. If it's a bracelet, then it's deployant clasp. I think I would go for. Wow, there's so much. Right. So the internet love Christopher Ward and the new Longines Zulu time. What I've just lost it. What's the minimum dollar in your opinion for a heirloom quality piece to pass down? Listen, I wouldn't say there's a minimum price. I have things that mean a hell of a lot to me that are literally plane tickets. I have things that mean a hell of a lot to me that are, photo books that I've stuck together when I was 18. I have things that mean a hell of a lot to me that are not expensive, but I also have things that mean a lot to me that are expensive. So I think heirlooms are what you make them. And I don't want to put a price on that, because you can't put a price on your memories of the way you feel about something. You know, if you love your wife, you can't put a price on that. So yeah, I think, you know, any kind of watch that you can get can mean the world if it connects to a memory and a time in your life. For example, with me, the Moonswatch, I'm sure a lot of you guys would have heard this story, but I got it with Adrian when I was filming a project with him, and that meant a lot to me. So I've still got that. And now that was about, you know, 200 or 300 pounds, but then I've got an Amiga Seamaster that's more expensive. So it really depends. It's very much up to you guys, the value that you put on them. Okay, what's the Escapement Show says, what's the quirkiest watch that you like? You listener darn freak. Yeah, the quirkiest watch that I like. It probably would be the listener dan freak. The quirkiest watch that I like. Yeah, I think it would be the listener dan freak. That's a great question. Sorry, I keep touching this mic. That's a really great question. I'm gonna have to have a look, and I'll get back to you on that one, because that's a good question. Did you get hands-on with the Zenith Rival Shadow Chrono, says George A. Been enjoying this watch forever, but since I've never seen it in person and having second thoughts. Let me have a look at the Zenith. I think I recognize the one you're talking about, Zenith. Zenith Rival Showdown Chrono. I can't actually. Oh, is it this one? Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Right. I think. Yeah, I think I found the one, and I think I know exactly the watch you're talking about. Is it this one here on the right, or this? Yeah, this one here. Let me know. Yeah, let me know. It's pretty sick. I do like that. I'm a sucker for Zenith. I think Zenith are really kind of underrated. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I haven't got hands-on with this one. But I've seen it. Where have I seen it? I think maybe a pal of mine has it or something. Listen, Zenith are a brand that are crushing it at the moment. Zenith are a brand, in my opinion, that are underrated. Zenith are a brand that have a huge amount of history. Yeah, I think that if you want to, I can't even remember what the question was. ADHD is taking me. Been eyeing this watch forever, but since I've never seen it in person, I'm having second thoughts. Listen, if you think that watch is going to be the one, then I would go for it. I wouldn't, you know, I would try it on if you can. It's always helpful to try it on and get it on the wrist. And sometimes, like I go into the boutique sometimes and try watches on that I think are way too big for me, way too small for me. IWC is a perfect example. And I get it on the wrist and think, actually, I quite like this. Like Panerai is another example. I get that watch on and think, well, actually, I don't think it's too big, even though it's 44 mil or whatever it is. So yeah, I would try it on, but I wouldn't have second thoughts on that. I mean, with Zenith, you know you're going to get quality no matter what. I think that looks sick. I think it looks lightweight, durable, and really stealthy. Plus, it's really legible. I quite like that. It's quite minimalist. I like that. Yeah, I really like that. Okay. Wow, guys, there's so many questions here. Right, so let's see. Matthew P. Serioi. So sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Love your latest Longines video. Happy to see you include the Central Power Reserve, our Power Reserve model. Such a sleeper, in my opinion. I would agree. Do you think it does a better job of indicating the Power Reserve than Grand Seiko? I think they do a pretty similar job. I think the Grand Seikos are almost twice as expensive. So I think it's different. I think they do pretty much exactly the same thing at exactly the same rate, but it's more the finishing element. Like I think that Grand Seiko, when you look at Grand Seiko's polishing, for example, obviously being double the price, its polishing is very, very good. It's very, very pristine. It's really stunning, actually. However, when you look at the Longines Zulu Time Titanium that just got released, I think we dropped a video on that one recently. That the level of finishing on that has been massively upgraded. And I said this in the video, that level of finishing, I almost thought that watch was stainless steel. And then I picked it up and realized how light it was. And then obviously realized it wasn't stainless steel. So yeah, Longines are really crushing it at the moment, like really crushing it, and I'm really excited what they have to launch soon. I think a new Hydro Conquest will come soon. That's what I'm thinking. So, Chow, how many watches in a perfect collection? In a perfect collection. Well, that's the problem. I think when you start watch collecting, the collections get bigger and bigger, and then there's never a perfect number because you always want more. I think I think if there's like a number to aim for, it's 6. And the only reason no, sorry, it's 8. The only reason I say that is because my big watchwinder, my Wolf watchwinder, it's a big watchwinder. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a big watchwinder. My Wolf watchwinder has 8 slots, and I got that 5 years ago, and I always wanted to fill it up. And then I filled it up and then thought, well, I'm just going to buy another watchwinder. So, yeah, a bit of an addiction. I mean, 8's a great number. 4 is also a great number. You know, people get one watch collections. That's fine. It's totally up to yourself. So, yeah, I would aim for 8. And then you'll probably want more after that as well. Okay. Watches are like guns. You can't have too many. Well, Dr. Bob's, I live in the UK, so I'm not allowed a gun. So that's an American one, that one. Have you ever had buyer's remorse after buying an expensive watch, asking for a friend? Not well, I think I had buyer's remorse slightly after buying the Blancpain X watch. And the reason being is that I never really wear it. I like the look of it, and I actually quite like the kind of vibe of it, and I like having it in my watch box and staring at it, but I never wear it, and I don't really know why. And I actually quite like. I'm a fan of the System 51 movement, which is this plastic movement that's in it. I think it's really cool, and I like the fact that they've incorporated different animals in the back of the watches, the little sea slug things that are from different parts of the ocean. Again, they're really cool. I thought it was a cool concept. I don't know why. I just never wore it. And after it, I thought, did I get dragged into the hype? Maybe. But do I regret it? Nah. Life's too short, mate. You can't regret anything. Just get on with it. Okay. Getting a GLC Grandmaster Minute Repeater, says Phil Tarbuck. And he says, getting my C1 Belcanto December with a white dial speedy. Wow, you have been busy. Phil, you've been busy. My first watch was a Reverso. Reverso is just brilliant. You're getting a white dial speedy and a Belcanto and a Grandmaster GLC repeater. I'm so jealous of you right now. I'm so jealous of you right now. I think that's a banging watch collect. Are you gonna go higher than that? Like, do you think you're gonna go GLC's unbelievable? Do you think you'll go for one of the Holy Trinity next, like a Vacheron Constantin? Because that's almost there. GLC's almost there. Do you think it will be a Vacheron or a AP or what are you thinking after that? GLC must be in the Holy Trinity. AP tried on the GLC Grandmaster Minute Repeater, and my name is on the list. Getting my Belcanto in December along with White LCB. I think I just read that one. Yeah, that's awesome, mate. Yeah, that is unbelievable. You know what? The C1, the Christopher Ward Belcanto, I'll show you guys at the moment. I've never been a fan of. I love Christopher Ward. I love what they're doing as brand. Love what they're doing. Seriously, amazing brand. But the Belcanto, I can't get behind it. Christopher Ward. Oh, Christopher Water. Like, I do not think that's a good looking watch. I think I'm going to get shot for this. I love Christopher Ward. I love the 12. I have a 12. I love the C63 Legend Diver. I love all of that. I don't like this. And I'm sorry. I don't like this. I think it looks weird. And that's not to say that other people shouldn't like it, but I've never, I don't know. I like the functionality in it. I suppose when you're buying this watch, you're buying it more for the movement inside, right? You're buying it more for what it does. But I don't know. I've never been a fan of that one personally. There's tons of questions coming through. My first decent watch was a Tag. Do you still have your first good watch, and what was it? My first watch ever, my first luxury watch was from my parents when I was 17, 18. And it was an Oris Artelaire skeleton watch. And it still works to this day. And I've never had it serviced. I need to send it off for a service very soon because I can feel it grinding. It's not good. And I'll never sell that watch because it was my first ever luxury watch. You know, that's the kind of connection that you have to your watch. It's just, yeah, they're special things. You know, I'll always be reminded of my parents giving me that for my birthday. They started this whole weird watch journey, this kind of obsession. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Right. I no longer have my first watch. It was this plastic digital thing from the early 70s with R2D2 on it. Oh, that would have been cool to keep it though. I think like these little things, you take them for granted when you're young and you don't realize the sentimental value you put on things. Like I've lost my Casio F91W. I lost one of them in Colombia. I lost another one of them in Peru when I was trapped with my photography stuff. And yeah, it's annoying when you do lose them. It's just annoying because they do have that sentimental, you know, you have that sentimental attachment to them. So what are your take on the new variations of the Tissot PRX? Let me show you. Is this the gradient dials, Tissot PRX, or the carbon gradient dial? So the gradient dial, I think, is really cool. I think. Let me show. So gradient dial, I think, is really, really cool. I think it's a really fun thing to do, and it's a big change. You know, it's a bold move. Not many people in the industry do blooming gradient dials. It's not something you see every day. So I really like it. I think that it's definitely an acquired taste. I try on this channel to be relatively subjective because your tastes might differ to mine. My tastes might differ to my dad's, and my dad taste might differ to my best pal. It's just, you know, it's subjective. But these gradient dials aren't for me. But the only reason they aren't for me is because I'm a photographer and I like symmetry, and they're not. I don't know. I'm not sure about them. And normally something that I have a hesitancy towards, I wouldn't go for. I like them. It's not that I don't like them, but I wouldn't go for them. I like the solid dial PRXs, like the one I have. I have the green, but there's also the black, and you know all the rest of it. Okay, let's see. Let me stop sharing. Oh, wow. Jason just contributed £2. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate it. The support from you guys truly means the world. So, Jason, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot more than you think when you donate and stuff like that. To see that I'm actually having a positive impact is really nice. So, thank you. Do you like Porsche Design Chronograph 1? Let's have a look at it together. Okay, so Porsche Design Chrono 1. Let me show you guys. Share screen, Porsche Design Chrono 1. Okay, so this is the watch we're looking at. I would really need to get it on in I'm not. Well, that's nicer. See, this looks a lot nicer to me. That looks clean. That must be the old version. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of faded a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'd have to get it on in person. It looks quite clean to me. It looks like quite aesthetically nice, but yeah, I don't know that there's a gap in the bracelet that kind of freaks me out. Just here. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's there. That doesn't look right to me. I mean, it's cool. It's clean. It just that gap in the bracelet is throwing me off, and I don't really know why. Yeah, I'm not sure. Wow, there's so many messages coming through. So, so Sam Ray GTR says, Chisholm Hunter, do you have a knife collection like Benchmades or No, I don't, but I know that Adrian does, and he messages me all the time about his knife collection and his knives. And yeah, I've never been into knives. I've more been into, I mean, you can see them up here. I've more been into vintage cameras. I like old stuff that probably doesn't work. I mean, I've got a vintage one here that's definitely doesn't work, but I just like it. It's a cool prop, and it's a throwback to time gone by. It's really really cool. So yeah, I'm not into knives, but that's probably going to come. I'm not going to lie. Oh wow. Okay, right. Thank you so much. So the Nothing Burger has donated. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Really, really means a lot. What are your thoughts on Hanhart HD12 v Murph? Hanhart HD12. Give me 2 seconds. Hanhart HD12. I mean, yeah, for me, the Murph would win. For me, the Murph would win that battle. Oh, I didn't show my screen. I think that it's nice. I'm not as much of a fan of the leather strap on the left. I understand why they've done it. I get it. I'm not as much of a fan of it. The blue and black dial, very nice. Big bold numerals, very nice. The bracelets, nice-ish. I mean, it's very. I don't know. I'm not huge on it. I mean, it looks kind of like everything else, if you know what I mean. I'm not spotting any points of difference on there. I like it, but personally, I'm a sucker for the Hamilton brand. I think the Hamilton khaki Murph is unbelievable, and I'm a huge fan of it. So the Hamilton khaki Murph is unbelievable. The white dial 38 is my favorite. With that said, I'm not as much of a fan of the leather strap on that, purely because it sits in my wrist a little bit weird. I would put it on a NATO strap, and I think you'd have the perfect watch. And it's not as expensive as other watches. So I think the Murph is definitely on the radar for me. I think the white dial Murph is definitely on the radar. Simon Skoglund just contributed. I don't know what that 129. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. That's honestly unbelievable. Yeah, that's wild. Thank you so much. I honestly, that truly, truly, truly means the world. And the fact that you guys are kind of entertained and enjoy this channel as much as I do making the content, it means a lot. So yeah. And guys, please remember that I've got an Instagram channel under Chisholm Hunter Watches. If you want to contact me at any time, just talk about watches or talk about what you're looking at, message me on that channel because I'm very active on it. And I've got a ton of I follow people and they follow me and we always chat about watches and it's a good community. So I'm thinking of making a group chat on there to bring everyone together. So follow us on there and we can talk about that kind of stuff as well. But Simon, thank you. I really appreciate that. Sam Ray says, Chisholm Hunter, do you have a Grail DSLR? So I've got the Canon R5, but R5. So the Canon R5's just been the best camera I've ever owned. Ever. It's been amazing. I mean, it fills 120K, 4K, 8K. It's ridiculous. The thing is wild. I've had that for a couple of years, but I think I might just get another R5 after this one dies because it's just been amazing. And I know where all the buttons are and all the stuff, and I like that. It's complicated because I'm sponsored by Canon for another 6 months. So this is what I mean. I do photography and videography outside of this watch channel. So I'm sponsored to them for another 6 months. So technically I'm not allowed to talk about any other cameras, but I really like Leicas. So yeah, who knows, mate? But yeah. So we have Amit goes, yo, what up, mate? Bro, so Rami says, bro, I love your videos. One question, can you tell me where you got your wrist bracelet? So this wrist bracelet that is on my wrist in the moment, I wear it in all my videos as well as my chain and my jewelry. This isn't even a plug, but it's all from Chisholm Hunter. So Chisholm Hunter do really unbelievable range of gents jewelry, and there's more coming on that front that I'm involved with directly, and I've been planning for a while. Don't want to say too much, but Chisholm Hunter are the guys to go to. And even if you send a picture to Chisholm Hunter of my bracelet or whatever, and they can make things bespoke for you, they have an in-house workshop. This isn't a sales pitch. This is just where I got it from. So yeah, Chisholm Hunter is definitely where to go. How do you super chat in Scottish notes? Says Gareth. I don't really understand what that means. How do you super chat in Scots? I don't really understand what that means, but thank you if you're meaning a super chat. uh, so I'm a student who is thinking of choosing photography. A level, any tips as a photographer? My top tips would be fail as much as you can when you're young, don't be embarrassed, and surround yourself with people that are better than you. I think that if you surround yourself with a friend group that are kind of constantly putting you down and saying your work's crap and blah 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 blah, they're not your friends. So shoo them off. I had a friend group when I was younger, when I was starting out doing photography, and they said you're really embarrassing because your photography is a bit crap. So we'd rather you not be our friend. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I blocked them all, and I then went on to work with Canon, the North Face, Volvo, big brands. So I wouldn't listen to anyone else, but a lot of it is down to how much you can fail, because every time you fail, you learn something. And if you fail hundreds of times, you'll know a lot more than the guy that's never failed. And I know that sounds like I'm trying to be this inspirational guy here, but honestly, that's just how I learn. And I think that I made every mistake in the book. I used to oversaturate the shit out of things. I used to do just wild stuff that was really weird, but it taught me a lot of lessons in my young days. So yeah, that would be my advice is, make every mistake possible, find your niche, and just keep going for it. Consistency is the only key indicator of success, because if you're consistent, you might just win, but if you're not consistent, you're definitely going to fail because you won't try. Okay. Robert Wood says, greeting from Austin, Texas, Harrison. Thank you so much, Robert. It's good to see you on the chat. Thank you very much for coming in. Follow specs very closely. Art, photography are a nightmare in terms of examinations. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Phil, I never got into university. I applied for photography, and I never got into university. I failed everything in school. I was heavily dyslexic, had major ADHD, and I literally failed everything. So yeah, I didn't get into university. So let that be a lesson. You don't need university to be, good at your passion. And I wouldn't say that I'm great. I've gone further than some of my friends that did go to university and studied photography. So a lot of it is about the experience and the failure that you learn from. So don't think that if you don't pass an exam at college or university that you're going to fail. Just keep going, keep going. Don't listen to anyone else. Just listen to your dream, and you'll be fine. So if you were to collab with someone like Long Island Watch, what would your dream watch be to make style wise? I've never heard of Long Island Watch, but if like my dream watch would probably, oh, I love Vacheron and Constantin overseas. I think they are just gorgeous. I love the AP Royal Oak, and I love the Patek Philippe Nautilus. So if you if you could like splice them all together, that would be really sick. Right, let's see. Chisholm Hunter, top 3 watch Instagram photographers you like. Shout out to Bowl of Salmon. uh, top 3 watch photographers on Instagram that I like. Adrian Barker, obviously, he's the GOAT. Peter McKinnon is actually weirdly into watches. Not a lot of people know that, but he has a really big watch collection. He's incredible. Love Peter. I really want to meet him one day. I've been in touch with him a couple of times over Instagram. He's a great, really cool guy. Thirdly, who would be third? I don't really know. There's so many great accounts out there that post unbelievable watch shots. Brit obviously is great, but she's more maybe a YouTuber. Let me have a think. I'm not really sure. Let me have a think. So, wow, guys, there's so many. I've just seen someone saying that I've skipped a question. I haven't even seen it. I'm honestly trying to get through everything. I promise you. Just keep firing in, and eventually, because my feed is refreshing, so it keeps going up. So that's probably why I'm missing it. So, uh, is this the question? I've been looking at the Mayor's flower for some time now, and I can't decide if I should get it over a Rolex Oyster. Mayor's flower. Mayor's flower watch. I honestly can't find the watch you're looking at. Is that watch? Let me know in the comments if that watch is like what the model number is of that watch. I honestly can't find it. Yeah, I honestly can't find it. How to avoid fakes? Buy from an AD, and I know that all ADs say this, but literally, there's a reason why most ADs have been there for a very long time. They have a trusted reputation. For example, Chisholm Hunter, where this channel is, we've been around since 1857, so 167 years, 168 years. We have people that work within our studio that are Rolex accredited, Tag Heuer accredited, Amiga accredited watchmakers that have been trained by those brands, and they take your watch apart and can identify fakes. So if you go to an AD, and I'm not just plugging Chisholm Hunter here, but that is a safer way to do things. And if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Glad you can read as you have dyslexia. Yeah, I can read, but I struggle with words, and sometimes I say the wrong word. And yeah, I definitely get a lot of stuff wrong. Um, but listen, you got to keep practicing in order to get better. So I'm trying to get into photography more than just use my iPhone. I do a lot of watch photography, but also want to do some street too. What prime focal length would you recommend to cover these? So as a prime lens, the 50 mil 1.2, I think it is, or a 1.8 or maybe 1.6. I can't remember, but it's super super cheap. So you can definitely get that. It's super cheap and is a great lens. I think that in terms of variability, you want to probably have the holy trinity of lenses. So there is a holy trinity of lenses as well as watches. You have the 15 to 35 or 16 to 35, which is your wide angle. Then you have a 24 to 70, which is your mid range, and then you have a 70 to 200, which is your longer focal length. That covers all bases. That is what I take up on my hikes and all that kind of stuff with me, because it covers everything. And I also have two camera bodies that I switch between. So yeah, I would look at the 50 mil. That's a great watch. Wow, guys, there's so many questions. I'm so sorry if I'm missing your question. There's literally so many that are coming through, and it keeps pushing everything else down. Oh wow, okay. I think I've seen this one already. I can't find that watch. I don't know which watch you're talking about. Do you shoot film at all, or do you only shoot digital? No, so well, at the moment I only shoot digital. I'll actually show you guys. So my Instagram, my personal Instagram, not the watch account, is called HB Life Lens. It's that one there. So HB Life Lens, and that's where I post all my like digital photography, all that kind of stuff. So I do drone work. I do loads of digital. I want to get into film because I think it's beautiful, and the colors of film, the whites just look so like texture. It's yeah, beautiful. But yeah, we'll get there. So Chisholm Hunter, thoughts on? He's trolling the main. What is going on here? I can't find that watch. I promise you. Wow. Okay. Simon just donated. Thank you so much, Simon. I really appreciate it. Means the world. What's your opinion on the new Tag glass box with the bracelet? Love your channel. Thank you very much. So let me look this up for you guys. Tag Heuer. This is where my dyslexia comes up or comes out because I can't spell Tag Heuer now for some reason. Glass box bracelet. That's sexy. I mean, wait a minute. Let me just show my screen. Share screen. That's cool. I like that. I really like that. You've actually converted me to the glass box tag. That is honestly unbelievable. I need to get that in for a review. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that, mate. I really like that actually. The splashes of red, the symmetry on that dial with those two rotors at either side, and then the camouflaged middle rotor, and then also you have the date window there. That is sexy. That's a really cool watch. Wow. I haven't even seen this yet. Yeah, mate, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's really cool. I like that. I really like that. Um, So look out as CW want to launch another watch with Belcanto hype with balance wheel placed is unusual place. I'm not really sure what you mean. He's trolling with it. What is going on? Jason says you're a very talented photographer. Thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate that. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm getting there for sure. Definitely getting that bucket shot of Scotland helped a lot. Like I feel so much better because I've been looking for that shot for 8 years. Like it's been a long time. But yeah, Sam Ray says blowing up your IG now. Well, thank you very much, Sam. If you want it, so I've got a watch page and my photography page. So my personal account is HB Life Lens. So Harrison Brown. It's a long story. HB Life Lens, and then the watch account where all the watch photography and videos is Chisholm Hunter Watches. So if you just look up Chisholm Hunter Watches, and I'm going to get a group together on the Chisholm Hunter Watches page with all the watch enthusiasts so that we can talk over that group together and send voice notes and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you hit that follow button if you want to be part of that. Okay, there's literally so many messages here. MTB, is there trolling going on? Is there a fight going on in the comments? I'm so confused. Beside the Seamaster and Speedy, what's the best white dial? Besides the Seamaster and the Speedy, the AP Royal Oak kind of white dial, mate, look at this. Wait, is that Caroline? I don't know if this is the right Caroline. McKinney. Yeah, it must be. Guys, everybody say thank you very much, Caroline, for being an awesome editor because she has been doing some fantastic work. I think this is Caroline. I think this is her. She's been helping me so much with everything. So definitely give a round of applause for Caroline. So in terms of the best white dial, the AP Royal Oak white dial is just so sexy. I had it on in the studio the other day for filming. Have a look at this. There we go. Yeah, that not one of the sexiest watches you've ever seen. Like the quality of the metal and everything is just unbelievable. It's honestly so cool. I'm such a huge fan of AP right now. And now Caroline's saying, "Oh no, listen, we've exposed you, Caroline." Everyone's saying hi now. Round of applause for Caroline. Yep, that's my girl. She's the one that's helping me so much with all this editing because there's so much to do, and she's literally been a saint. So round of applause for her. Not the Hamilton Khaki Expedition white dial, no way. In terms of having it on or saying that it's the best white dial watch other than those two. Wiker black dial on the new Murph. So the new Murph 38 that came out like, what was that this week? Maybe it was last week. Definitely the white dial. I think the black dial is the safe option and it's the throwback to the movie. So I get people that want that because it is the movie's watch, technically. It's a bit different, but yeah. But the white dial looks unbelievable. I think it just looks so cool. Grand Seiko, yeah, the Grand Seiko Snowflake, 100%. The Grand Seiko, I mean, it's not really white, but the Cherry Blossom, that texture dial was unbelievable. So Phil keeps sending in this message. So clarification, CW want to launch watch that may look like Ulysses Down Freak and place balance wheel in a weird place. Interested to see what it will look like. Yeah, I mean, it will be interesting. I feel like people need to be, watch brands need to be careful that they don't copy. Like they need to have their own DNA. Now, yes, all watches tell the time and all of them are similar. Let's not lie here, but I like seeing stuff that's different. And just because sometimes it doesn't resonate doesn't mean it's wrong. And I like the trial and tribulation that goes into that. So if they are doing something different or CW are doing something different, then that's really cool. I like that. If they're copying, however, that's a different story. What do you think of the brand Maurice Lacroix? Interesting one. I actually really like Maurice Lacroix. I don't know. I've not been so, like, you know, when you get converted with a brand and then all of a sudden you go down a rabbit hole and you become a massive nerd. I'm not quite there with them yet. However, I am there with Doxa. I I think Maurice Lacroix is definitely one that's coming up soon. It seems to be a really huge, like there seems to be a huge boom around that brand at the moment, and I'm really glad they're doing well. They seem to be producing some really cool watches as well. They look quite similar to other watches, to be fair, especially their kind of sporty range. Just joined says just vlog by Siamon. That sounded very wrong. What do you think about the Rolex Oyster Perpetual? Oh my god, so many questions. 41. Not seeing too much on your channel about Rolex in general. So, listen, I think Rolex is killer. The Rolex OP is one of the best all round watches that you can buy. I don't like the YouTuber mentality of only doing videos of watches that get views, and obviously Rolex gets views, but I like to review the watch for the watch itself because I'm a watch enthusiast. That's why I've reviewed Breguet's, Blancpains, Vacheron Constantins, Chanel's, things that are maybe a little bit more obscure, but I found very interesting. So I don't post a lot about Rolex because I don't want to just feed into that hype train. If Rolex release something that I'm really interested in, yeah, I'll definitely review it. But I don't feel the need to just churn out content on Rolex. There's so many other watch brands that are amazing that I want to talk about because they're incredible and people need to know about them. Like Certina, the DS Action Diver range, they're unbelievable and not many people know about them, which is a little bit weird. Wow. Okay. The Murph or the X. Wow. Okay. So interesting story. And I was actually going to do a comparison video and I forgot. I should have probably done that. So the lifestyle that I lead is more adventurous, and I like the idea of being out and about. And I say the idea. I like being out and about. I like being up the mountains. I like camping. I like doing all that stuff because I'm a little bit weird and a little bit of an introvert, and I like being by myself, and that's just me. So the Hamilton expedition definitely goes with that. It kind of goes hand in hand. With that said, there's a classical cleanness that comes with the Murph, and for work, it would be really nice to have the Murph. Now, I've just sent my Hamilton away for a repair, my mechanical that I broke ages ago. And I like the idea of getting a collection within a brand. And Hamilton's a great brand to do that with because within Hamilton, it's not astronomically priced. They're quite relatively affordable. So I think in future, maybe I'll get the Murph, the white dial Murph, but I want to put a NATO strap on that. For sure, I want to put a NATO strap on that. Have you ever visited any major watch brands' headquarters, such as Omega, Rolex, or Patek? Yeah, I have. The last one I visited, I think I did a video on it, was Glass Hoodie Original. Yeah, really cool. A lot of these places, when you go in, they're kind of top secret. So we went into Glass Hoodie's factory, and I was recording everything because I was like, this is insane. And they were like, yeah, you can't record that, and you can't record this, and you can't record that because they're top secret about how they create watches and how they put their unique spin in things. So you need to be, yeah. So it's upsetting that I couldn't show you guys that side of it. But yeah, they're super cool. And I know that when you become like a VIP of Chisholm Hunter or some of these brands, you do get sent away to these trips. So yeah, that's a really cool thing. Okay, the new PRX Powermatic light green color is confusing via video reviews. It is more mint green or Tiffany blue when looking at it in person. It's more mint green in person. I had a really tough time with this. If Caroline's still watching, she'll be laughing right now because Caroline's, I think she's maybe sniffing about somewhere. But I filmed that in the studio, the PRX, and I released a video on our channel. We spent so long color grading that, and I could never get the colors to the true color. And I don't know what it was. I mean, I was filming it with a camera. Like it's so weird. The dial looks different in different settings and different lights. And I couldn't explain it. And a lot of people in the comments of that video were saying, why is this looking like a different color to online? And I was like, well, because in different lights, it is a different color. So you definitely need to have a look at that watch in person because it changes. It really does. Watch your Longines banger video. But my question is, if you could only choose one model line, what are you picking? Longines Hydro Conquest GMT or Longines Conquest? Longines Hydro Conquest GMT is definitely up there. I've said this in so many videos. I love that watch. I think that watch is unbelievable. I think that watch rocketed Longines into new levels of fame because it was just such a hit. It really, really was. Thank you, Harrison. You're very welcome. Harrison, what's your favorite USA brand, micro brand, and which USA brand do you see worn in the UK? Love your channel. That's a great question. I suppose could you technically Hamilton is it's not a micro brand, but technically Hamilton's from the USA, Pennsylvania. Am I right? I think I'm right. Honestly, that's a great question. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And there's so many of them that are coming over. I get emails constantly. I'm actually finding it quite difficult to navigate through them now of different brands from all over the world that are wanting, they're trying to send me free watches, and I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't do paid stuff. I don't do that. But they keep trying to send me these watches, so I'd need to have a look at all of them. Honestly, I'm unsure. So Chisholm Hunter, I think so many people keep talking about the basic watches, Rolex, etc., and it's great that you diversify and look further. Why I love watching your channel. Thanks for answering my questions. Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate that. And yeah, listen, I'm a watch enthusiast, and I know that there's lots of people that have come on here and said that I'm not, or been kind of horrible in the comments, but that's what I am first and foremost. And if I wasn't, then I would do the Rolex route. There's a way to quick growth on YouTube, and it's reviewing Rolex all the time. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I'm in this for the passion of watches. I'm not really in this just to grow. And yeah, so thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, wow. Simon, again, has contributed 129. I'm not really sure what that currency is, but thank you. Honestly, I really appreciate that. He says, IWC Mark 20. I was talking about this watch today with the bracelet and the white dial banging, or with a NATO or leather strap, 120-hour power reserve, and very slim. Yes. So the Mark 20, funny that you say that, because I literally made a video today and mentioned that watch. So I find it super sexy. I think it's super versatile, and I think I would put it on a NATO strap. I think a NATO strap, a light NATO strap with a dark dial, maybe a blue, or a dark NATO strap with a white dial would be an absolute banger. So definitely go for that. That is stunning. If you're looking at it, it's IWC are killing it at the moment, and they will continue to kill. So yeah, unbelievable, really unbelievable. Wow. Guys, right, we're going to do something at the moment. I'm going to quickly run onto my phone and start making a group chat for us watch enthusiasts. So if you guys go to your phone at the moment and follow Chisholm Hunter Watches, this page, Chisholm Hunter Watches, and maybe I should do a collaborative group with my personal, because there's quite a lot of people. Right, and yeah, maybe I'll do that. And then follow this one as well, which is HB Life Lens, which is me. I'll make a collaborative group, and we can get our little group chat going. If you don't have Instagram, don't worry about it. I can get one set up on YouTube. But it's just so we can talk, and I can send voice notes to you and all that kind of stuff. And then you can send voice notes to me, vice versa. Oh, we've got Sam Ray. Sam Ray is a follower. Sam, you have 16,000 followers. Sam, I'm looking at you right now, and I'm going to follow you back. I think your watch photography is sick. That is awesome, man. Well in. Wow, you've got some cool watch photography, bro. That's really cool. That is super, super cool. Wow. Okay. Right, guys, I can see you. If this is you following my personal channel, which is HB Life Lens at the moment, thank you guys so much. And I'll get that group sorted straight away. Officially uncertified. Oh, you've got some cool, right. I love, see when all the watch community start coming together and just like getting groups and all that kind of stuff together. That's unbelievable. So Chisholm Hunter Watches and HB Life Lens, if you follow them, I'll get a collaborative group maybe done tonight. That's a cool photo, by the way. I like that. Okay, right. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. ADHD. Let's get on to some more questions. Oh my God, there's so many questions here, guys. I'm really sorry if I'm missing some of you. He's still Victor case because he has a few thoughts, Brand. So I'm getting tons of the same message, but I can't see the original one. So Rodrigo Pullman says, great work in the channel. Big fan from Brazil here. Would love to hear your thoughts on sportier Cartiers. The Wassa 0037 is a cool one, but some say it lacks DNA of the brand. Let's have a look. So Wassa 0037. Wassa 0037. Mate, I think that looks sick. Oh, I'm not showing my screen. I'm so bad at this. See with that anthracite gray dial, that looks sick. This looks like it's titanium. Is that titanium? I don't know if that's titanium, but if it is, that looks awesome. And it's got a darker shade just here on the interior of the bezel. That is really, really cool. The fact that the screws don't align kind of upsets my OCD a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. I think that's a really, really cool looking watch. I don't think that lacks Cartier DNA. I would see that as a Cartier, 100%. Yeah, I wouldn't say that lacks Cartier DNA. Star says, loved your content overall, but would you be able to do your videos where you talk more about specific brands, their history and significance? Yes, I certainly could. And I'll take a note of that. So thank you very much. I've been doing quite a lot of list videos I've been requested from us recently. So I've been doing a lot of them quite recently. But yeah, I'll definitely get on that. Thank you, mate. Honestly, this kind of feedback really helps as well because I make these videos for you guys. So anything that you guys want to see, just let me know. Okay. Wow. Epic Cartier. Yeah, it is an Epic Cartier. Greetings from New York. Sorry I'm late to the party. Not at all. Javier, I'm going to say it's Javier Frista. I'll give you a follow on IG. Your perspective on watches is much appreciated. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. So there's 2 accounts, and I'll make a collaborative group between those accounts today, so I can post a comment. So it's at Chisholm Hunter Watches and at HB Life Lens, which is my photography account. If you guys want to follow that, if not, if you're just into watches, that's fine. Chisholm Hunter, could you remind me of the Insta to add to, because I added GC. So if you go onto those 2 Instagrams that I've showed there, so Chisholm Hunter Watches and HB Life Lens, and follow those 2, and I'll make a collaborative group between those 2 pages. The Chisholm Hunter Watches one is the watch account. The HB Life Lens is me, the photography account. But if you follow both of them, then we'll get a wee group chat started. You need to start a Hot Wheels collection if you haven't already. Oh, don't get me on to another addiction. I have my own watch page, and I took a lot of inspiration from your shots as well. I just followed the wrist index. Well, let's have a look, mate. Let's have a wee look at the wrist index. So there we go. That's sexy. That's really sexy. The trick to watch photography, guys, is honestly, it's having soft light. So buy an aperture light, buy some kind of soft light. It really, really helps. How many cups of coffee? So I have major ADHD so I try and limit my caffeine intake as much as possible. I'm going to say 2, 3, and then I stop. I try and cap it at that, guys, because Harrison on caffeine is not what you want. I kind of understand my ADHD now, and I understand that I need to be careful with that. So yeah. What would you say is the perfect 3 watch collection? So you need a dress, you need a dive, and you need a vintage. Dress could be Grand Seiko. Dive could be Rolex Mariner, Amiga Seamaster, Tudor Black Bay, that kind of stuff. And then a vintage, whatever vintage you want. That's the beauty of it. So go online and look for a vintage. That's what I'm going to be doing soon as well. But why did they offer the white dial with bracelet and Hamilton? Or why didn't they offer it? So what I think is going on here, I think Hamilton's plan is to release that soon. You know, I think they're taking their time in growing this family, and it's a bit like Tudor. We see minor upgrades through the years. For example, we know that they can do a Cosco Meta certified movement, but they roll it out slowly but surely over the years. I think that's the same with Hamilton. I think next year, or maybe in 6 months' time, they'll release the white dial on the bracelet. Or maybe they'll give them a NATO strap. They'll just keep adding to this collection. So if you want it on the bracelet, I would wait, because I think that is coming. I can't see them not releasing that, if I'm totally honest. Would love to see your watch photography tips video from you. I can absolutely get on that if you guys want to see that. If you guys want to see that on the channel, I can do that and make a little tutorial video for you guys. I've been doing it for so many years now. It's kind of like autopilot to me. But yeah, I can absolutely do that if you guys want to see it. Let me know. Message me on Instagram if you want to see that, and I'll make that for you guys. Cheers from Ukraine. No knives, no cameras, no fishing. Instead, you go for sneakers. Do you share it? Do I share sneakers? I'm not a big shoe guy, to be honest. I'm actually not a big clothes guy in general. I try and yeah, I don't know. I don't really like shopping, to be honest. It kind of stresses me out, and my girlfriend has to like drag me around the shops, and I'm kind of like, oh, I don't want to be here. So yeah, I've never really been into clothes. Sorry. Okay, right, guys. Do you want me to? I've just realized it's been an hour and 11 minutes, and I've not stopped talking. Do you guys want me to stay on for another 10 minutes, or what are you guys thinking? Let me know. Fire in a couple of messages in the chat if you want me to stay, and I can do that if you guys want to stay in chat. I'm actually going to check some of these Instagram accounts out while we wait, because they look really cool. Stay. Rebecca says stay. 10 more minutes. Okay. I'll be 10 more minutes. I'm actually, Sammy, or Sam Ray, I'm looking at your page at the moment. I'd rather do this than work. Yeah, to be honest, kind of weird when you become like, I've had a lot of friends talk to me about this. When you start doing content creation, photography, YouTube, Instagram, social media, and marketing, work kind of overtakes your life, because like, I love what I do. For example, technically right now I'm working, but like, it's not like I am working because I want to do it, if that makes sense. So it's really odd when you start doing what you love, you don't see it as work. Yeah, my brain just had a meltdown. So Javier says, I'm still a beginner at watch photography. So if you want some tips, I would say soft light is definitely the way to go. And even if you're using natural light, sunrise, sunset, that's when the world's natural saturation slider has been turned up. So definitely sunrise, sunset, or buy an aperture light, which is really good. Get reflector boards. They're really important, really cheap as well. Literally a couple of quid. Reflector boards reflect light back. So if I have an aperture light here coming to my face, I would get a reflector board here so that the underside of the watch stays lit. There's a couple of key tips. 13 minutes. Okay. 13, 1-3. That's very specific. I like that. Well, guys, fire in. I think I'm through most of the questions. So fire in any other questions you have. Or even if it's personal stuff about the photography side of things, the business side of things, the Chisholm Hunter side of things. This is your time. You can talk to me about anything. Okay. Wow, like 5 questions coming at the same time. Question for you in the watch community: how often do you wash or clean your watches? It's actually a good question. I would say once every 2 weeks, but I shower with a lot of my watches that kind of cleans them. There's things called dazzle sticks that we use in the Chisholm Hunter for diamonds. You shouldn't use that, so don't use it. But it's like a really light brush with a kind of blunt toothbrush. That works. Or actually, guys, bring them into Chisholm Hunter. We can do some free cleaning for you and quickly sparkle them up. So honestly, if you come into Chisholm Hunter, we can do that for you. I'm not trying to plug anything. It's just, we can do that. Chisholm Hunter, what is your favorite drone you use? So I have a Mavic 3 Pro at the moment. That's the drone that I use. I crashed my last Mavic 3. I crashed my Mavic 2. I crashed my Mavic 1, and I crashed my Phantom 4. That's my life in a nutshell. I think as a videographer, you want to get close to the subject. You want to get depth of field, and that often, Made you crash. What made you go into watches and how not to catch the watch collecting bug? I think if you're in watches, then you've got the bug. If you're on this chat, you've got the bug. It's not a bad thing. We're all in it together. How did I get into watches? I always had a passion for cameras, watches, and kind of cars, but more cameras and watches. So photography and videography came along. And then after that, I started doing photography and video of watches. And then after that, I thought, why don't I just take photos of watches and do YouTube stuff? And that's how it started. Can you feature Adrian Barker on this channel again, or your Into the Mind podcast channel? Yeah, guys. So, guys, this is another thing. If I could have your support with something, it'd be really appreciated. I've started my own podcast called the Into the Mind podcast. And if you could follow the page on Instagram and get us to 1,000 followers, I would be so appreciative. It would really, really mean a lot. It's just called the Into the Mind podcast. We get amazing guys like Adrian Barker. We've had the CEO of Christopher Ward. And we've had some business people. We've had Miss Scotland. We've had a variety of different people. And this podcast is a real passion project of mine. And it's kind of a form of therapy. Like the more you podcast, the more you can kind of like talk about your feelings and thoughts and yeah. So it's called the Into the Mind podcast right there. So I'd really appreciate it. And I can see that Sam Ray has actually followed it already. So Sam, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The support from you guys, it means the world. So thank you. I'll put the link here into the Mind podcast. And that's my personal podcast. Okay. So what's your secret to such pearly white teeth? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I clean them. I floss. That's pretty much it. So that was the pearly white teeth. Chisholm Hunter, what do you think is the reason we're so passionate about watches? What makes them so special in your opinion? So I think there's a couple of reasons that people love the watch community and love watches. And I think I've actually talked about this in my podcast, the Into the Mind podcast, a lot. So definitely, if you are on YouTube, then go and subscribe there. I'd really appreciate it. But I've talked about this in my podcast. I think a lot of anxiety around people comes at first impact. And what I mean by that is, walking up to someone in a bar or walking up to someone to say hi, that first impact is where we get most anxious. And I've really struggled with that kind of anxiety aspect of my life. So I kind of had definite issues with anxiety and I avoided subjects for sure. Now, I think when there's a common passion or a common theme, like if you like cameras and I like cameras, or you like watches and I like watches, it's less hard to get over that barrier of the first impact because you have something in common to talk about. And I think for me, that alleviated a lot of anxiety because I could talk to people and I knew that there was a common ground instead of just going into a conversation that I was terrified of. So yeah, I think that that's part of the reason. I think the part of the reason is that they're heirlooms and they can be passed down. Anything can be passed down, and that's a beautiful thing. I think part of it is that they are engines. Like guys love cars. Guys, not just guys, but everyone likes cars. Everyone likes cameras. Everyone likes watches. They're all intricate little things that you can see the movement of and the cogs, and it's really cool. It's like an engine. That's a huge answer, but that's the answer. I think there's so many different caveats to it. I think the community is definitely a massive part to that as well. And guys, I'm just on the Into the Mind podcast page and I'm realizing that tons of you guys are following that at the moment. So thank you guys so much. Honestly, that means the world. It's a page that it's quite tough to grow podcast pages because YouTube doesn't know where to place you because you do a variety of topics. So the algorithm doesn't really work like it does for watches, for example. Thanks for the chime cheers. The Nothing Burger, thank you very much for stopping by. Stop calling it a community. It's a support group. It is. It's a therapy channel. That's what I'm doing right now. I've got it's a therapy page is what I'm doing. It's funny. It literally is though. You get to talk to people about your feelings, thoughts, and things, and it goes a lot deeper than just watches, which is really, really nice. Sam Ray says, I love this community. I also love this community. It's an awesome place. Your thoughts on the Oris Cotton Candy Bronze. It's actually quite cool. Would I get one or wear one rather? Actually, that's a bad question. I would get one, but I don't have that money. And it's quite bold. I'm not sure I'd wear it. out and about, but it is cool. Like it is definitely cool. It is a family. Yeah, I think literally it is. Yeah, I literally think it is. It's kind of a weird family, and seeing everyone at the Chisholm Hunter events is awesome because it is like a weird family that you meet them again and again, and then you realize you talk about the wife, the kids, and how everyone's doing, and yeah, it's great. Here's a question I asked Adrian: do you ever get tired of watches? Uh, no, I don't get tired of watches. I get sometimes demotivated by the comments of some people. Some people say, why do you review watches like Certina and Doxa and all this kind of stuff? Why don't you talk about Rolex? I get demotivated by that because I don't think I should just talk about one brand, or a select couple of brands that get the views, so to speak. I don't really get tired of watches, to be honest, because there's always something new coming. I think there's always something to talk about. There's always something to chat about and kind of argue over, which is, yeah, so I don't think so. What is the Swatch Group's next mental? I just spat everywhere. I'm so sorry, guys. What is the Swatch Group's next mental collab? I honestly think it would be super, super cool if the Swatch Group brought out a Seamaster Swatch collab. I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be serious cool, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, let's see. There are enough channels that talk about Rolex. Well, yeah, that's what I think. I think that, listen, I do it for the passion of watches, and there's so many more brands than just Rolex. Rolex is amazing, but there are other brands. Would you come to watch events next months in New York City? Sure. Like, listen, I definitely am going to be traveling a lot more soon, which is good. I'm back on the road. I've recently got a studio and got a new flat and got a new place, and that took up all my money for the next 60 years. So I've had to save a bit, but hopefully I can travel a bit soon. And New York would be a cool place to go and a cool place to meet the watch community for sure. F the haters, they disappear faster than appear. Well, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. It's weird. It's it's always the weird comment. Like, most people on the comment section of the Chisholm Hunter YouTube are really fantastic and brilliant, and they're an awesome community. They're a family. But you get that one guy or, troll, because they might not even exist. It might just be a random bot that says something that you're like, I tried so hard with this video and now, people don't like it. So no, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Wow, tons of questions. You're the man for letting us allowed to hang out today. No, honestly, thank you, mate. I really appreciate you joining, and hopefully I'll tune in soon. I'm going to try to do these more frequently. Tudor turns 102 years, yes, and I think they've got something big planned. Remember that watch brands have things planned like 3 years in advance of actually releasing them. And this is another thing that I hate about it really frustrates me about the watch community. Everyone's like, oh, well, they must have copied them because they're releasing this. All the watch brands have a backlog of 3 years designs, so they don't know what other people are going to release, and they can't copy each other then. So a lot of the time when people say they're copying each other, it's impossible. They can't do that. They can't maneuver that fast. They can't mass produce that quickly. The design to the process of creating the watch to the execution and selling of the watch takes years. So yeah, that frustrates me for sure. But Tudor have something big coming. I'm sure of it. And they will have it in the bank already. Okay. Wow. Thoughts on the Tissot PR516 mechanical chronograph? I absolutely love it. I actually made a video about it on the channel saying how much I love it. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think it's quite steeply priced for a Tissot. However, it's pretty awesome. I mean, the color, the orange and the blue, the light blue and the orange, really, really cool. And the mechanical watch aspect side of things, awesome. I love it. I love mechanical watches. Does it fit the Tissot ethos of, really affordable watches, lower price watches? Maybe not, but it does tell a good story. Paul says, thank you, Harrison. Tell us next time you're in Texas. I will do. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Your thoughts on the Tudor Royale, says Star. I really like the Tudor Royale. Tudor Royale kind of went below the radar. I don't really know why, because when that first came out, everyone wanted one. And it's been overshadowed a wee bit by the Black Bay monochrome. But Tudor Royale is awesome. I've been chatting for a long time when my tea starts getting cold. Okay. I have a Rolex Datejust 36 and Amiga Aquaterra, rubber strap, Amiga Constellation, Cartier Santos, and I need a new watch. Wow. Well, firstly, that's a good looking watch collection as it is. So, suggestions wise, I mean, if you're looking around, if you're looking around the Amiga price or maybe a bit higher, honestly, if you could stretch to a Vacheron and start getting into the Trinity, I would do it. I think Vacheron is absolutely unbelievable. And it's a shame that not as many people talk about them. I bought a Doxa Clive Cussler edition from CH. Well, thank you very much for shopping with us, mate. I really appreciate that. I grew up reading his books, and I love the look of the watch. Nobody at my work, etc., like it or nor have heard of Doxa. To be fair, I prefer that. Yeah, well, listen, it means that only the true enthusiasts know the watch that you're wearing. And see the Doxa Sub 200T on that note? That's a really cool watch. But I love it, mate. Doxa is an awesome brand, underrated brand at that. And that's why I try and talk about these underrated brands, because they mean so much to people and they mean so much to me. Right, listen, guys, I've been yapping for honestly an hour and 25 minutes. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you. So what I'll do is, if you can follow the @ChisholmHunter page and the @HB Lifelens page, which is our pages. And if you are feeling amazing and very generous, if you could find the @Into the Mind podcast page and follow that, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll make a group chat tonight and we can all come together and chat a little bit more. And hopefully I'll see you guys very soon.